From SBI's Executive Briefing Center in Dallas, Texas, the most watched and listened to content in B2B sales and marketing, it's the SBI Podcast with your host, Matt Shares.
Welcome to SBI TV, a weekly show dedicated to helping you make your number. Today, we're going to explore the true meaning of customer experience. What a topic. I'm your host, Matt Shares. I'm the CEO of SBI. Joining us in the studio today is Brad Christian. Brad's the Chief Customer Officer of MarketForce Information. MarketForce serves multi-location businesses by providing a wide array of customer experience management solutions, analytics, and reporting technology. If you think about their solutions, they help clients protect their brand reputation, they delight them, and make them more money. So Brad, first off, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Matt. Great to be here.
Yeah, good to see you. So I think as a way of getting started, it would be great for you just to give the audience a little bit of a history lesson on you, kind of how you ended up in the CCO role, and then I'll have you talk about MarketForce and what you do and how maybe the audience should think about you.
Sure. So obviously, Brad Christian, I'm our Chief Customer Officer, and have been with the company for about 13 years now and work with our existing clients, walking them through best practices and some of the innovations in the space, as well as responsibility for our new business development team in terms of acquiring additional new clients.
Great.
I work in our Atlanta, Georgia global headquarters office.
Okay. But then you guys are global as a company, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then if I was not familiar with MarketForce, right? Where would I bump into your solutions? What would be an example where I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense?
So MarketForce provides a variety of what we refer to as customer experience solutions. These are a variety of different measures that we use to help different brands evaluate how they're executing against customer expectations. And kind of our secret sauce and what makes us different is we have a large variety of those measures and then a sophisticated analytics process that allows us to tie the results from those measures to financial performance to help our clients really understand three critical things. One, what matters most to their customers? Where do they have gaps in execution? And ultimately, what's the financial ROI they can derive by taking on one initiative over another?
Okay. And would you be seeing more in, are there certain verticals or certain end markets where we might bump into you more? I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is I think about anybody that's in the restaurant and food business.
Right.
Like you're there checking, validating experience, driving sort of post-experience text messages, that whole ecosystem. Is that a fair pedestrian representation that I'm giving?
Yeah. Restaurants, retailers, supermarket, convenience stores, those kinds of businesses are big users of our service.
Great business.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, wonderful. All right, so Brad and I are going to have a great time talking about customer experience because I think he's going to be able to teach us a lot. So if you're watching or listening and you don't want to miss any of the shows that SBI produces, to access our content library, if you're an iPhone user, all you have to do is download the SBI app via the Apple Store, search for Sales Benchmark Index, set up your notifications, and then we can keep you company as you commute, as you travel, or maybe your morning workout. All right, so this segment, Brad and I are going to spend some time talking about how does one tie customer experience to financial performance. We're going to pull that thread through. So if you think about it this way, so many of you that are watching have a large customer base, and you want, at a minimum, to expand this current list of customers. And customer experience initiatives can be expensive, right? Because they touch so many parts of an organization. So Brad, as you think about experience measures, customer experience measures, and then pulling the thread through to ROI, financial performance, almost like the lens of the CFO, who's typically pragmatic, skeptical, says that's fluffy, right? Advice for the group?
No, you nailed it. I mean, customer experience as an industry has been evolving for the last few years now, and ultimately understanding, like what we talked about, how you're executing on your brand promise and, how consistently deliver, but also understanding how customers feel about that. Like you said, they're sort of squishy. They're just sort of interesting numbers. They're interesting only until you can tie them to financial performance. And so the leading firms in the space are getting really good at, and even organizations on their own are getting good at modeling and taking these disparate inputs, operational, experiential, objective, subjective measures, and tying it back to financial performance because, as you said, most of us are all focused on, comped on financial performance. So any good customer experience program needs to have a financial component to it because honestly, these programs can be incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
And there's a big investment, and so executives in the C-suite want to understand, what am I getting out of this? And so we talk often about leveraging your data asset and making sure that you're getting predictive insight into where should we be investing as a business.
So that's where I was going to go next is, how do I get predictive?
Yeah.
So as I hear you say that, I'm even thinking about leading SBI and saying, what is it that I can be doing during projects, right? Where we're 3 weeks in, 4 weeks in on a 15 or 16 week project where I'm getting indicators that say that's predictive that on week 15, the client's going to go, wow, unbelievable result. Or this is predictive that, we're going the wrong way. Advice on predictive analytics for B2B?
You know, we see it all over the industry. There's a tremendous amount of investment in analysts, data scientists, PhD statisticians to try to take and harness this data. At the end of the day, a customer experience measurement program needs to really help a business answer 3 questions. You know, what matters most to their customers? Where are the gaps? Where are they not executing against best practices or brand standards? And ultimately, where is the financial ROI? So which initiative should we be investing in over another? And what is that ROI, right? So that you have an understanding in your position, okay, so if this is a $1 million opportunity, you've got an order of magnitude on what it is you think you should invest against it and what return you should expect. But if it's a $100,000 opportunity, then that may not, it's a pecking order thing. And so you sort of, and I think the question you asked is, how does that analytics work get there? You wind up identifying attributes of the business, various attributes that we would establish on the front side of the program to figure out which of those are mathematically and statistically tied to the KPI that you're looking to drive. And there are a variety of KPIs. You know, most companies, it's same-store sales growth, it's revenue, but there's other industries like net activations, RevPAR. It's something the hospitality space looks at. It's called revenue per available room, gallons sold. In the petro convenience, we have a shared client that they care all about gallons sold. And so their analytics is all about, how do I help my operators sell more gas?
What I love about what you said, though, is I'm thinking about allocation, and you talked about like attributes, and I'm thinking about a $1 million opportunity versus a $100,000 opportunity, and you know, I'm in a project-based business, right? So, yeah, the $100,000 opportunity, you want to give a good outcome, but there's a set of indicators and how much sort of cost to serve I want to deploy as I think about what we can do versus the $1 million opportunity, and making sure that I've got a commensurate view on that. I mean, that's a very helpful way to think about it. So then, how about different functions? So it seems like in the world of customer experience, it's not just a customer support, customer success, customer service, call it what you want, operations. Everybody needs to be pulling on the rope to make it happen. IT, ops, finance, right? Services. Advice for people on how to think about who should be doing what relative to the customer experience, and is it an everybody thing, or is there truly a lead horse?
No, it's an everybody thing. We as a business have had the luxury of working with over 200 clients across the globe, and we've been fortunate to work with some really fantastic brands. And what we've been able to do is study those organizations and say, so what do they do that allows them to, you know, outpace their competitors in the segment? And we've cobbled that into a five best practices, sort of best practices framework. And the first one is strategy. And so what we see oftentimes is, like you said, it touches everyone, but executives sometimes have a challenge of getting the message or the strategy permeated throughout the organization. And so that's one of the challenges that we see. And so the companies that do that the best excel in terms of outpacing the competition. And an example that I can think of, one of our clients spends $0 a year on marketing. They're very successful, but they spend no money on marketing. And what they do is they allocate the funds that they would normally use to promote, advertise, and you know, market the brand. They use that to measure how well they're executing on the brand promise, and in turn also compensate team members for how they're performing. And so a lot of the executives that we talk with early days push back on the notion of, well, they've got a comp plan. I shouldn't have to incent these behaviors. I shouldn't have to incent these CX, you know, attributes. But we disagree. We think that if you put the right kind of compensation and structure around this, you can drive really outsized results. And so this particular organization, they're not looking to invest in any one kind of marketing. They're trying to drive, customer advocacy and brand, raving brand fans, if you will, because they get the best kind of marketing of all, which is word of mouth marketing.
A big thank you to Brad for coming by the studio and sharing his wisdom relative to customer experience. As you could tell, I was taking notes, so there was some good learning going on, so hopefully you enjoyed it. It's always a gift to be able to spend time, and I appreciate your eyes and your ears. Brad, once again, thank you for your generosity and continued success to you and the Market Force team.
Likewise.
And for those of you out there, we wish you good luck as you try and make your number.
This has been the SBI Podcast. For more information on the studio, SBI's Executive Briefing Center, our team, or to schedule a workshop, please visit salesbenchmarkindex.com.